Okay, so I was measuring these diodes here because they should be getting 3.1 and 3.1, 3.1, 3.1 AC, which then go through the diodes which are tied in to this C8. And I was checking that because I'm not getting any voltage on the chip, and I wasn't getting any output from the lead channel, getting good output on the lead, or I'm not getting output on the clean, I'm getting output on the lead. Needless to say, I got, come on man, I got, um, I think I got 3.4 on this heater. This is feeding off of the heaters on the tubes. So each one of these should be 3.1, 3.1 roughly, because they should total up to 6.3, which more like 6.8. So really 3.4, 3.4, 3.4, 3.4, and which feeds over to here, which is the 3.1 to 3.4, and that should be the same, 3.1, 3.4. Basically, these should add up to 6.3, but they were closer to 6.8, which that's fine. Wasn't getting any voltage on this one, so I traced the wire back over to here, and lo and behold, if I can zoom and focus, look at that. We have two wires down here. I can get my little pointer. Two wires that aren't even connected. So this would explain some of those odd voltages that I was getting when I was measuring everything out. That's a very bad soldering job right there. Do you see that? See that hole right there? That is just poor soldering job. But we have a signal wire that's not even attached, and we have a heater wire that's not even attached. And I can't see down in there too good, but it looks like there might be two heater wires that aren't attached. So we have probably the heater wire. I'm gonna have to look, but it may be the heater wire that's going over to here. Oh no, that one's up there. Needless to say, we don't have a heater wire attached there, and we don't have a signal wire attached there. Well, wait, that's pin 9. That's pin 8. Thought it looked like a 9. But we should have a signal wire and a heater wire. And this is V2, the V2 tube. So I'm going to get that resoldered. And since those are such terrible solder jobs, I may go through and just touch up every single tube socket just to be doubly certain that all of those are soldered in good. That could be a very big piece of the puzzle there. So I'm going to get that corrected, see how it sounds, and then I'll start focusing in on that. But if we're getting, this may correct the problem, because we're not getting both sides of this AC voltage feeding in here, which those two combine for the DC voltage, which goes over to the IC chip, and if the IC chip is not getting, this is the 3046, if it's not getting voltage, then all the little switching that goes on inside there doesn't work. So, hello YouTube. So in light of what I found on these two wires that are not connected, I'm going to get those reconnected, and then I really want to reflow. I want to like suck the solder off of those and resolder them, I think, just to make sure don't have any more of those issues. But that's crazy. Yeah, those wires aren't even connected. Let's see if I can get my little see what we got here. Yeah, we got there we go. And there's a piece of solder that needs to come out of there too. Hey, where'd it go? I don't like little... Well, when I'm done, I'm just going to blow this out again with the air compressor. Get all those little pieces of solder off of there. But, man, that's crazy. It was not even soldered at all. And that was not even soldered at all. That should be on the cathode, so that means that half of the tube wasn't even working. Wow. So, oh dang it, forgot to turn my solder sucker on. I'm gonna see if I can find my wire strippers. Kind of clip a little bit more of that insulation off of there. I got them right here. Maybe. Sometimes it's the simple solutions. I was going through, I mean, it's good that I went ahead and put this socket in there so you can change the IC if need be in the future. And I did all the regular maintenance stuff, but I was going through checking component by component when it actually was two wires that, well, I say that's the problem. I suspect that's the problem. I'm trying to just get a little bit more of that insulation so I can get a good, I want to get a good contact with that wire. Kind of looks like that might be a 20 gauge. Look here. There we go. Now I got a good, nice piece of wire to go with. Let's see if I can get this one too. I just want to be able to get a good connection. Come here, little buddy. Sometimes you just don't have enough hands. need to get much. I just want to get a little bit. All right. So we have heater and we have cathode, and they weren't even attached to the tube socket. So let me clear my throat. Get all that old crappy solder off of there. Cool. Man, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to hook up my second camera view. We need a second camera view. Get in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing here. That's on V2. I might have to get my clacker too. See if I can zoom in here. Maybe. Let's see. I might need to shed a little light on the subject. Oh yeah, that looks a little better. At least I think that looks a little better. Let's move this over. There we go. Got to be the filmmaker and the repairman here. Get a little sip of coffee. And let's get this cathode back on there. Hold that pin. You don't want to get too rough with those pins. But I do want to get a good little bend in that so it'll have I like to have physical contact with the pin before I get solder in there. My camera's kind of going shaky Freddy on me. That's a good contact. Now, let's get this heater plugged in on the other side. Hope I'm not blocking the view. Come on, man, get hot. I'm going to get my little googles, my little jeweler glasses. Ooh, get me another pair of these. I'd like to get some that have actual glass lenses, but those are expensive. Ay, what the heck? Well, I guess my battery just died on that one. Good thing I have a backup. Let's see here. Well, those other solder joints look decent. Looks pretty good. I'll check continuity now. Because I'm gonna make sure I have good contact before I fire this thing up. So all the black wires should get continuity with the black wires. Wait, is that one? What's going on, man? My tester not working? So, should have, I'm just gonna move that over there. You can hear the beeps. Should have continuity all the way down the line. Now let's do the red wire. Okay. Now let's do this over to the diode. Cool, man. Let's fire this baby up. What the heck? I just lost my video. Dude. Was I just taking a... Dude. I forgot to hit record. Okay, so much for the close-up. So much for the close-up, Mr. DeVille. He'll be alright. Let's see here. Foot switch, speaker. Let me get a guitar cable. It's a moment of truth. Speaker. Guitar cable. One cool thing about this amp is the probably can't see it on camera here, but it has a internal mute, so that if your guitar cable comes unplugged, it mutes the amp, so you don't have a bunch of runaway feedback or something like that. Let's double check again. Speaker, always check speaker before you plug in. Man, this is going to be the moment of truth here. So half of that V2 tube wasn't even working. I'm going to, after I test it just to see volume, I'm going to check those voltages again. See what we got. Oh, you probably can't hear. Let me unplug that. Undo my microphone here. Okay, so now we're to just the regular iPhone volume. Okay, moment of truth. I'm about to click it over to the other channel. Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. I'll do a better demo later, but yeah, we got definite. Okay, all that buzzing's because I got a single coil strap right next to the amp. Plus, I don't have all these pots screwed in, so it might not quite be getting a stellar ground contact on there. And my cabinet is facing away from the camera, so probably not hearing a whole lot, but that sounds nice. I've heard people say the clean channel's not good in these, but sounds good to me. Cool. All right, it works, and I'm happy, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to get those. Let's see. I think those are pretty good there. Oh shoot, I was gonna remeasure that. Let's fire this baby back up. I wanted to measure voltages. See if we're getting our voltages now. I'm just gonna leave that microphone off. You know, we're running low on batteries. So this should be now, turn that volume down. This should be like about 3.1 now. Oh, AC. AC, DC. Yep, 3.1. The other one should be about 3.1. Yep. Now let's do the DC, because this is where the voltage swing was when I was measuring that. Okay, yep. Now we're back to 200 volts on the 200 volts on the plate. That's what that should be. Make sure I'm unplugged and off here before I go poking around. And I think I'm gonna do a little of this before I go poking around. Do a little discharge in the capacitors. I don't want to get electrocuted. You know, you can buy these, I mean, you can make these, but I think I bought mine from Tube Depot, maybe. But it's a good idea to discharge those capacitors before you go poking around after you just fired it up. Cool. All right, let me get in here. And I wasn't real happy with the way that one looked, so I'm gonna do a little zzz, zzz on that one. Let's get a little. Where's my pliers, man? Oh, they fell down. Nope. Holy cow, man. Dude. Guess I'm losing my mind. I just had my pliers. Oh, there you are. I like that connection, man. There. Now we can get a good physical connection. Guess if I'm gonna keep rambling on, I can do my microphone. Okay, I'm back with the microphone here. Where was I? I'm probably blocking that like crazy. I had my other view set up and I forgot to turn it on, and I just gave up on it. Gosh. Those all look pretty good. Just didn't like that one that was kind of hanging there willy-nilly. That one looks decent. Good, good. Good, 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 good. Cool. Man, I bet this thing's gonna sound really good on that clean channel with the reverb. It's gonna sound really good. All right, let's get this thing. Let's get all these socked back up. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to do to this before I get it socked back up. All right, let's get this. Get all these put back together. Yeah, that would explain why the clean channel wasn't working 100%. And the channel switching wasn't working. So let me go through this here. Let me go ahead and get all these put back on. Get these adjusted a little bit. I'm gonna get all these put back on, but that would definitely explain why the lead channel wasn't working crystal clear like it should. And the channel switching, these diodes, if you're familiar with rectifier diodes, the rectifier diodes convert that AC voltage to DC voltage. The AC voltage and converted to the DC voltage was going over to the C8. Those two come together. Show you on the schematic. So you got D2, D3 is D2, D3 over here, D2, D3, and those come together, and that's the DC voltage, and that goes around through C10, your LED, which is all part of the switching circuit, over to here, which is part of your switching circuit. So essentially, this wasn't getting fed enough voltage to activate the switching chip. So that's a completely scientific explanation there for you. Basically just had the voltage shut off, like turning off a light switch. So now, get this put back together. And these a little snugged up. I do like how Marshall has the kind of the lock washer on the back instead of having it where the shaft is right up against it, because A lot of times what people do, if the shaft is all the way up against the front plate, they'll tighten them too much and it'll damage the potentiometer. But with that secondary lock washer in there, or said lock washer, lock nut in there, it doesn't matter how tight you romp down on these front ones, it's not going to damage the potentiometer. So that's so awesome that it was the simplest solution there. So if you're working on one of these or trying to troubleshoot your own amp, I would recommend, I mean, outside of the normal maintenance, like I did, all the stuff that I did was just normal routine maintenance for an amp this old. But the one thing that I should have double checked when I was having trouble with that channel is the the simple solution. Visually inspect all the leads on the tubes or valves if you're British, and yeah, just visually inspect all the connections to make sure they're solid. But that is solid now, so awesome. I'm gonna get this back in the chassis and then I can test the reverb, see how it sounds on that clean channel. But I think Smitty's gonna be pretty happy with this. So all right, I'm gonna stop right there. Once again, if you like my videos, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for future notifications. As always, I'm Ryan. Have a good night.